Hey guys, so today I am bringing you just a couple of quick and super easy Dollar Tree DIYs that I think you'll love just as much as I do. So this first one, we are actually going to use some mouse traps. Yes, you see this correctly. I got a packet of 4 mouse traps at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just removing the hardware here because, believe it or not, these little wooden planks are perfect for craft projects. It is a very unconventional supply that I never would have thought of before, but I want to give a shout out to Jazz at DIY Home and Crafts. I actually saw this suggestion on her page or her channel, and she used these for a project, and I just thought that was amazing. So I'm using these right now. What I'm doing is just filling all those little holes in with this Dollar Tree spackle. I love this so much better than the Dollar Tree caulking material that they have, because this is more sandish. I don't know how to describe it, but it just fits and works perfectly for what I needed it for. I do sand these down just a little bit, just to give a little bit smoother feel to them, but it didn't need to be perfect. I actually like them being a little bit rough. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to just use some of my gel stain that I have. I don't have any antique wax, so I figured this is the next best thing if I could talk, y'all. And I'm just putting a coat on all the sides of these traps. Now you are going to be gluing down on one side. So the reason I do all the sides is because sometimes the gel stain or even the antique wax, you never know if it's not going to pick up on the wood. Like some parts of the wood sometimes just repel the stain, and so I just wanted to be safe and make sure that all the sides were completely covered, and then I'm just going to use the best sides for this project. This next piece that I'm using is actually one of the newer signs that I just picked up from Dollar Tree. It's one of the Halloween signs. I am just flipping it over, and I'm going to fill the holes in just like I do with everything. So anything you see me filling in holes with, I'm still using that spackle. It's great. I love it. Definitely recommend it. What I will do with this sign is I'm just going to kind of go over it with a quick brush of Waverly chalk paint in white. And I don't want this to look completely finished, so it is just going to be kind of like a quick dry brush technique. It's not going to have finished edges or anything like that. I just wanted it to look as realistic to older wood as I can. That's just what I like. You can paint this sign however you want, but this was just my personal preference. So now I'm just going to take some of my apple barrel acrylic paint and then just in brown, and I'm just dry brushing this. Basically just want to give it the texture and feel of real wood planks. And again, I just keeping with that rustic, old looking type feel. You do you, whatever you would want for your type of sign, but this was just something I personally liked, and it goes with my style. What I'm doing here is I'm taking my sanding block and just kind of sanding off the edges on these, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a more depth, I guess, or more texture to these particular pieces. And then I'm also going to take my sanding block and just run it over the sign itself, because I wanted to again just kind of distress it a little bit, and it does help with the blending of all those colors so those browns aren't too harsh, and the white, etc. So once this is done, what I'm basically doing is just placing out my letters, figuring out, or not my letters, y'all. They're gonna have letters, but my mouse traps, I guess. Just getting them even on the board so I know exactly where I want to glue them down. And they're not 100% perfect. I mean, as far as getting it lined up, I'm really, I guess I'm impatient. I love to eyeball everything, but in this case I did use my ruler just to kind of help give it more of a, you know, straighter edge, but I think it worked out pretty good. So now I'm using these letters that I also got from Dollar Tree. What I'm going to do is just take some more of that white paint and just give them a couple of coats. I hit these letters with a heat gun just to dry them up, and then all I'm doing now is gluing them on top of the mouse trap wood planks. So the next part of this project is I'm taking some of these pumpkins, which again, y'all, these are the only ones that I have. I found one pack this whole time. I'm still looking to see if I can find more, but all I can find now are the Halloween, the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, not these plain fall pumpkins. So I'm using them to the best of what I can right now with what I have. But with these, I'm using 2 for this project. I'm painting them just, again, this is with that apple barrel paint from Walmart. I'm using it just the orange, but I will blend some of these colors together because I want to have some highlights and some depth added to these. You can paint these however you want. For me, this was more just of a fall, you know, decor, so I wanted it looking just like a pumpkin. Now you could make these into jack-o'-lanterns. You could paint faces on them. You can make them more cartoony and just outline them with like a Sharpie. You don't have to be a perfect painter. You don't have to have any experience or expertise in it at all. Just play around with it, and that's really all I did here, just to have it have just a pumpkin, natural pumpkin look. Okay, so after I hit those with my heat gun, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of these jot magnets also from Dollar Tree. I wanted this sign to have interchangeable pieces. So this idea I've actually got from my good buddy Julia over at Mug Life Mama. Again, another channel that you guys definitely need to check out. She makes the most incredible trucks from Dollar Tree, and she was using interchangeable pieces on those. And so I thought, I really like that idea. I'm going to use it on this home sign. So basically what I'll do is I'll make new pieces to add on to it for every season. So I will put something on there for Halloween, and then I'll probably do something for Thanksgiving. I mean, I've got so many of these Dollar Tree cutout ornaments that I could probably hit every holiday and then some. So I definitely love that idea, and I think it's a great and very, very smart idea. So again, I will definitely make sure I link her channel down at the bottom as well. At this point, all I'm doing is adding just a burlap bow at the top. I just felt like it needed something extra. I am not a magician when it comes to making these bows, so I just kind of did what I see a lot of other people do, and it's just really a matter of just folding the material down and then just securing it in the middle, fluffing it up, and then squeezing a whole bunch of hot glue on the back of this shawl and just sticking it on that sign. And really, it is as simple as that. I did cut off the tails a little bit just so it wasn't overlapping, but truthfully, I think the end product with how this looks once it was all said and done, I loved it. And here's the sign hanging on my wall. I am in love with this shawl. So easy to do. Okay guys, so this next one is super simple. You just need 2 picture frames from Dollar Tree. I also had a book that I purchased from Dollar Tree that I ripped out the 2 chapter pages from. You're going to keep all the components for the frames, and literally all I'm doing here is just tracing out the size of the paper that I need for this project. Now that I have these pages cut to the size I need, I'm just going to take some of that brown paint and dry brush it very gently over these pages. Really what I'm doing here is just wanting to age the paper, give it more of an older look, and this is a very simple way to do so. I actually wonder now if I shouldn't have gone back in and crinkled it up a little bit to give it some more texture, but I think it's great as is. And as you see what I just did, I literally just placed the paper down on the frame, added the glass, then added the backing. Simple as that. What I'm doing here is taking the black cat that is out right now for the Halloween decor, and I'm giving it a good coat of the Waverly chalk paint and ink. I'm also going to do another pumpkin, same way as I did before, just a coat of the orange and then a little bit of the mixtures just to give it some texture. So while I'm finishing painting this pumpkin, I do want to mention that this project itself was completely inspired by Jennifer over at A Little Bit of Calm and Crazy. She did this same project, a little bit different, but I loved it and I had to recreate it for myself, so I want to give credit where credit is due. The final part of this project though, you're literally just gluing these pieces on top of your photo there, and that's it. I mean, easy peasy, completely done. I think these are gorgeous. I love these. I hope you love them too. Okay, so for the final project, I am using a page from the new calendars. This is the wine calendar that I found and I absolutely love. And this is just a decor sign from Dollar Tree that I found a while back. And I'm just using the back side of this. And what I'm basically doing is attempting to Mod Podge this picture onto this sign. Now, I will admit I suck at doing this. I put too much Mod Podge on there, did not get it to be thin enough. However, it works, it'll be fine. So I just put this, I guess the calendar paper picture, whatever, on top, and I smooth it out as best as I can. I am not one of those really super picky crafters, so a few bubbles here and there do not bother me, especially because it's not about that to me. It's just, it still looks nice, it still looks great, and it's for my own personal decor, so, you know, honestly, I'm not that picky. But if you are, definitely look into how to really make sure you know how to Mod Podge way better than I did. As you see here, I'm just cutting out the excess pieces, and I'm not worried about how those edges look. I know they look rough, y'all, but I have about 8 billion wine corks that friends have given me over time. And so what I'm doing here is literally just gluing the corks around the sign. I feel like it gives it just that added look that this sign needs. Plus it covers up all those little imperfections. And again, it's a wine sign, so why would I not use the wine corks? I totally love this. And just so we can cover up that little tiny hole in the paper, I just literally glued a flower up at the top. You could put a bow, you could do whatever you would like on there. It's totally up to you. And here I'm just adding my hanger, and this is my final project. This is a different sign than the video, but I still love it just as much.